Hey everybody, in this video we're going to be talking a little bit about the macOS Security and Compliance Project. This is the project that is put out by NIST to provide guidance on macOS security for a variety of different operating systems. So it's likened to the NIST guidance for Windows hardening. For NIST putting out this is really great for the Mac community because now we can establish baselines around a variety of different security compliance frameworks. So I'm just going to walk you through how to use this project and walk through the different ways that it could be helpful for you and your organization. All right, so there's a few different ways that you can utilize this tool. The first way is to simply go to the macOS Security GitHub repo, and when you get there, you can go to the releases section. And if you simply want the guidance for a specific operating system and you just need the guidance and you don't need to customize it and you don't want to generate anything, you can download the guidance by clicking on the release and then downloading the guidance. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the zip file that we just downloaded. I'm going to bring it over to the desktop just so we can interact with it. So here it is. So it's the MSCP Ventura revision 3. And as you can see here, we have the 853 revision 5, 800-171 CMMC, macOS benchmark for CIS. If we pop into this folder, we can see CIS level 1, CIS level 2, and we can actually see an Excel file here that has all the guidance that we would ever need and all the information about how it maps, how to check the validation for the item. And this is really the information that you'll use to actually implement a hardening strategy for macOS. So what is hardening? What is this compliance thing? Essentially, NIST has a recommended set of security standards that you can implement on your computer. NIST has been very proficient about putting this out for Windows in the past, and now they're starting to do it for macOS. And these are the things that you would have to implement in order to meet CIS level 2 benchmark, for example. All right, so that's one way of interacting with it. The next way of interacting with it is to actually use the script and the tool, and let's go through how to get started. So in order to get started, you're going to have a few things pre-installed: Git, Python 3, and Ruby. Those are the three main ones. We're going to go ahead and just run these commands one by one. And what these are going to do, and I'm just going to do all this on the desktop so it's easy to see in the recording, is it's going to clone the repository. That's all the files inside of this GitHub repository. We're now going to go into the folder. We're going to make sure that we check out Ventura. If I wanted to, I could change this to Sonoma. And now we're on the Sonoma branch. We can install the Python dependencies and then install the Ruby gems that are necessary. And as you can see here, it's installing those. All right, and now we are done with the installation of the macOS security framework. So now let's jump down to the how-to articles. So the how-to articles talk a little bit about how to generate baselines, and there are different baselines in the baselines folder, and we can tailor those as well. So essentially what it gives us the ability to do is run this script. So I'm going to copy this, and we're just going to run it. And it's going to give us all the different baselines. These are all the guidance, the security guidance frameworks that we can run using this tool. So again, gave us the same list as here. And now what we can do is we can generate the baseline. So I'm going to go ahead and generate a 853 R5. And instead of moderate, I'm going to choose low. And what that's going to do now is in my desktop folder, in the security folder, in the build folder, in the baselines folder, now we have a low file. And now what we can do is we can use that low file to generate guidance. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to generate guidance, and we are going to generate guidance based on the low framework. And what this is going to do is it's going to create the guidance as a PDF document, as an HTML file. All right, so we're going to go into build. That's where all the files go. And now we can see that I have a PDF document with all of the guidance that I requested, which was NIST 853 low for macOS Sonoma. These are all the things that we need to do in order to make sure that it is secure. And we can deliver this to a client or to my supervisor. Now what we need to do is generate the configuration profile. So these are the mobile config files that we can upload to the MDM and deploy to automatically set certain preferences and hardening. And as you recall in previous videos, we have actually showed you how to sign profiles. This is actually a feature of this tool as well. In the documentation here, you can actually see that the scripts generate guidance gives you the ability to build and sign if you happen to know your signing certificate information. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to generate the configuration files. I'm going to do so by copying this command, and we're going to modify this slightly because, as you remember, we've been using low, not moderate. All right, so now let's take a look at our desktop folder, macOS security, build, low, and now we can see that we have our mobile config files, and as you can see, they're all unsigned. So again, I can open these up in Apple Configurator and I can sign them the same way that we did before. Sign profile, choose the certificate and sign, or we can simply add this information to the command. When we run the command, it will actually sign the configuration profiles as it's building them here. So another great feature of the tool. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about the compliance script, because the compliance script will actually check to see if your device is compliant. All right, so in order to generate the compliance script, what we have to do is we have to run this command with the S flag, and it's going to generate that script. So let's go ahead and do that here. We're just going to copy this first line. Remember, we're changing moderate to low because that's what we chose. All right, so now we have the script. Let's just validate that real quick. So now we can see that we have the compliance script. So now what we can do is we can run this script. We have to modify the moderate here because we went with low. So I'm just going to run the 800 compliance here, and that's to be, has to be run as root. So sudo, cut and paste that. All right, so now what it's saying is we can run a new compliance scan. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And it's going to check our computer, this local system, against NIST 853 Rev 5 low. And it's going to tell me what it passed and what it failed on. All right, so now we can view the last compliance report if we want to, which I do want to. So I'm going to go ahead and press 1. So we can see here that we have 16 items that have passed. We have 107 that have failed. So we're 13% compliant on this system. We can run commands to remediate non-compliant settings by pressing 3, and what that's going to do is it's going to automatically remediate and bring us up to pretty close to 100% in tandem with those mobile config files that were generated. I don't want to do that on this system. This is really just me reviewing this platform so you can see the capabilities of it. And that is it. So I'm going to go ahead and exit this now. And I press 4. Okay, so now I've exited this. And there's lots of other things you can do. You can customize, you can generate mappings. I encourage you to go through and test this out. And it's an amazing program. It's an amazing step forward in the process of establishing those baselines, which again, you can download those baselines as a release. And when you do, you get the Excel file. You can customize the guidance, and when you do so, you get that as a customized build. You can create that compliance script, and you can check your compliance. Now, all well and good. If you need something a little bit more user-friendly, Jamf has actually put out a really great tool called the Jamf Compliance Editor. And if you're using Jamf, you can use it. It's a great tool. If you're not using Jamf, you can still use it. You can find this over here on their Establishing Compliance Baselines website, and it's a free download for anybody. They actually announced this on JNUC this year that they were going to keep this app free for anyone who wants to use it, and they're never going to charge extra for it. So really cool feature that they're bringing to the table, and it really is a GUI interface for the GitHub repository that we just walked through. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new project, and I'm going to pick Sonoma, and I'm going to save it on the desktop. And here it is, macOS Security Sonoma. I'm going to pick the NIST 853 low baseline. And here's where it gets really cool. We can see in a visual way all the different rules that are required for macOS hardening. So these are all the things that we need to do. We need to enable security auditing. We need to enforce audit retention. We need to disable iCloud address book. Let's just say, though, that you want to do everything, but you don't want to disable the iCloud address book. You can actually disable this, and you can create guidance. And what this is going to do is it's going to tailor out that specific exception. So you might have a POAM for that. You might have something this is an acceptable risk for your organization. And when you press the Create Guidance button, it's going to automatically create that same build that we got before in the folder on our desktop. We can view that project now. You can see here that we have the same documents that we had before, including the Excel file, preferences and mobile config files, as well as Jamf Pro scripts that we can use. And if you use Jamf Pro, you can upload directly to Jamf Pro by pressing on this Jamf Pro upload button over here. And if you don't, you've got everything that you need in order to use the guidance, the preferences, the mobile config files, and all of the guidance in a much easier to interact with state than we were using before. Again, the previous method is the same method that this tool uses. It just does it with a GUI interface. Now, there are some settings that make this a little bit cooler. You can set authors, you can have custom banners, and when you use a custom banner or an author, and then you generate that PDF file, it will actually put that banner and those authors in the PDF on this page, and updates the logo, so that it's a really nice little addition. So if you need to customize the report, that's a great way of doing so. and you can change the baselines here and create as many projects as you want. A really great tool. Thank you to Jamf for creating it, and thank you for making it free for everybody in the macOS community, not just Jamf users. But again, if you are a Jamf user, you can press this Jamf Pro upload and it will upload everything to Jamf, which is a really nice feature. And then finally, the audit gives you the ability to run that same compliance audit that we ran before in terminal, just a different way of running it. It's going to run it here in the window, and it's going to give us the results once it's done. There we go. And we can see here that we have some work to do. 103 failed, 19 passed. We can see exactly what is passed and what has failed, which is a really nice feature. And we can save this as well as a CSV. And now we can see exactly what we've passed on and exactly what we failed on. All in all, a very nice feature and a very good tool. Highly recommend. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody, so if you love this video and you want to see more great content like it, please check out my LinkedIn page, connect with me, follow me over there. Also, please hit that bell button and subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching.